Welcome to this explainer. Did you know that over 85% of students admit to falling into a cycle of chronic procrastination? Look, every single student dreams of success. We've all been there, right? Sitting at a desk, staring down this massive mountain of work, and making that grand, super comforting promise to ourselves, okay, from tomorrow I am going to study seriously. We set our alarms, we stack our notebooks perfectly, we get our pens lined up, and we feel incredibly optimistic about the future. But then tomorrow actually comes, and well, absolutely nothing changes. We just fall right back into that same familiar, frustrating cycle.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this painful disconnect we all experience. We make this promise of tomorrow, those perfect study plans and pristine, completely unopened books, but then we inevitably crash into the messy reality of today. And what does that look like? Usually it's scrolling endlessly on a phone, just watching valuable time completely slip away. It is so easy to be hard on yourself when you see this contrast. You start wondering if maybe you're just not cut out for this. Your defenses go up, and you just start blaming yourself.
So we really have to ask ourselves, is this lack of focus actually a lack of intelligence? I want to answer this right out of the gate with a resounding, massive no. Please hear me on this one. The problem is not your brain. It's not a lack of intelligence, and it is definitely not a lack of raw talent. The real culprits here are hidden habits. They're these silent, invisible routines that you might not even realize you're doing, but they are actively destroying your focus, literally every single day.
Section 1. The 7 Silent Saboteurs. Okay, let's dive right into this and expose the hidden daily habits that are quietly chipping away at your success.
Mistake number 1 is studying without a clear goal. Think about it. When you just open a book and start reading without knowing exactly what you're trying to achieve, you drastically increase your brain's cognitive load. It's like getting in a car and driving without a destination. You're setting yourself up to drift. You might be reading the words on the page, but you aren't actually absorbing the material. To turn that aimless wandering into a targeted mission, your brain needs a specific finish line, a SMART goal for that specific study session. Otherwise, you're really just crossing your fingers and hoping the information sticks.
And then, oh man, there is the massive threat of mobile phone distractions. The sequence of destruction here is just vicious. Your phone rings, and bam, your concentration completely breaks. And here's the kicker. Even if it's just a split-second glance, the damage is already done. Studies show it takes an average of 23 minutes to regain deep focus after a single interruption. 23 minutes. That means one quick glance at a text just cost you half your study block. Having your phone buzzing next to your notes is absolutely fatal to your concentration.
Which brings us to how we handle our energy. So what's the healthy, sustainable way to keep your brain fresh and productive? It's studying in focused 50-minute blocks, followed by a 10-minute break. A massive mistake students make is diving into these impossibly long study sessions without any breaks at all. That exhausting, desperate marathon of cramming. Forcing yourself to stare at a textbook for hours on end without a pause, it doesn't magically make you learn more. It literally just burns you out. Another huge trap is depending entirely on motivation. Listen, motivation is just a feeling, and feelings come and go like the weather. If you wait until you actually feel like studying, well, you're going to be waiting a lifetime. The true engine of success is discipline. It's about creating long-term success through consistent action, regardless of whether you feel motivated in that exact moment.
We also have to talk about the fear of difficult subjects. When we fear a tough topic, our brains actively seek this immediate dopamine hit of short-term relief by just avoiding it altogether. And yeah, it feels great in the moment to put it off, but actually, scratch that. That avoidance directly compounds into severe long-term pain, like falling behind or failing the subject entirely. Avoiding your weak subjects never ever makes them go away. It only makes them much, much harder to tackle over time.
Then there's the classic trap of comparing yourself to others. When you're constantly looking to your left and your right, wondering why someone else is reading faster or scoring higher, you're just feeding your own imposter syndrome. It's a total waste of incredibly valuable energy. Every single student's learning journey is entirely different. Focusing on your own progress is what actually moves the needle. You need to measure yourself against who you were yesterday, not against who someone else happens to be today.
And finally, mistake number 7, the trap of not revising. You put in all this hard work to learn something new, but if you fail to revise it, you are essentially taking all that precious effort and throwing it out the window. This all comes down to the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. If you don't review material, your brain just naturally discards it. It's like pouring water into a leaky bucket. Regular revision utilizes spaced repetition to interrupt that forgetting curve. It acts as the glue holding your knowledge together, strengthening your memory over time, and building immense confidence right before your exams.
Section 2. Your daily action plan. Let's look at your ultimate study toolkit.
Okay, to build a bulletproof routine, you need to start with clear goals and zero phones. From there, block your time with short, manageable breaks and enforce daily revision to really lock in what you've learned. And finally, you absolutely must protect your physical health with good sleep. Once you have that foundation, just execute the entire process consistently, even on those days when motivation is entirely absent.
Section 3. Discipline over motivation. This is the core concept your future depends on. I want you to remember this. One focused hour today is worth more than 10 distracted hours tomorrow. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start studying. Honestly, there is no perfect moment. There is only right now. A single intentional hour of deep, uninterrupted work today will easily outpace a whole weekend of distracted, half-hearted studying later.
And that leads us to our ultimate goal: silent success. Close the distractions, open the books, and begin the work. Stay consistent. Stay disciplined. You know, you don't need to announce your big plans to the world, and you definitely don't need to stress over how far you still have to go. Just focus on discipline today, and let your success tomorrow speak for itself.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself one final, vital question. What will you do with your next hour? Will it be an hour lost to distraction, or an hour won by discipline? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you next time.